Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Guardians franchise here on MLB The Show 22. Today we are kicking off the month of September. It is officially go time for our hunt to the postseason as we sit at 75-62, currently second in the division and currently the number 2 wild card in the American League. We also have these September call-ups where we have to add 2 people to the big league roster. And along with that, we have international free agency. I'm going to show all of the international free agents on the screen here. This is whereby subscribers get an opportunity to submit players for the series in my Discord server. The link for that is in the description if you would like to join and make a player, not just for this series, but for any of the series I currently have here on the channel. I decided to juice this year's international free agency class up a little bit as we continue to get farther along in the series. These guys are going to have less time to develop than the international free agents from the first couple of classes. So because of that, I decided to make these guys a little bit more higher rated, and a lot of them are towards the mid to high 70s. All of them have at least 80 potential, and all of them have a chance to be good major league players. I want everybody to have an opportunity to have their players eventually big league caliber. That doesn't mean everybody will develop into a major leaguer, but hopefully a lot of these guys will eventually be pretty good, and we'll be able to see them throughout the next few seasons and beyond in this series. This is definitely one of the most fun groups of international free agents I think we've had so far. So again, it should be a lot of fun being able to follow all of these guys' careers. If you happen to make a player for this class, feel free to pause, fast forward, rewind at any point if you see your player, or if you want to skip forward. I should have put a timestamp on the screen when the international free agency thing started, so if you want to skip to the end, you can do that. Moving right along here, getting through the infield, plenty of talent at second base, third base, shortstop. There weren't as many outfielders this year, which I noticed. I noticed most of the talented position players were infielders. Obviously, you have your normal amount of pitchers as well. And we ended up signing a couple international free agents of our own. You may notice none of these players are in our organization. This is just a list of players who signed elsewhere. We ended up signing a couple of guys for our team, whom we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about in just a second, making it through the rest of the shortstops here. A lot of guys within the American League, a lot added to the AL Central. I really want to make our division as fun and as competitive as possible. We do have some good teams in our division like the White Sox, but other teams towards the bottom like the Twins and to a lesser extent the Royals, who are usually not great. So if we can continue to make this division super fun, exciting, and competitive, that's what I want to do. And I think there are quite a few international free agents who should be able to make our divisional opponents even better, which should add to the pressure for our team to continue to get better as well. All right, nearing the end here, just have a few right fielders left to go. I always have a hard time voicing over through the international free agency monologue because I just kind of have to ramble. So I hope you enjoyed my 3-minute ramble that I just did. All right, let's talk about the 2 guys who we signed to our team. The first of whom is a starting pitcher. This is Rambo Rodriguez, a 22-year-old from Cuba. He has a 4-seam fastball, 12-6 curve, sinker, and cutter. Pretty well-rounded. The homers per 9 is a little bit low, but he throws hard. He has good break on his pitches. And then the other player we signed is infielder Giovanni Carnevale from Italia. Good contact, good plate skills, decent enough glove. He's another middle infield option for us behind guys like Ramon Ramiro, Tommy Madlock, and others for the future. We also have to bring up 2 players from our minor league system. You got to have 28 players on your big league roster in the month of September. And I wanted to focus on players who were already on the 40-man roster, but obviously not in the big leagues. Carlos Vargas is having a great season in AAA, and we've had a really hard time figuring out that 5th starter spot. So I want to give Vargas an opportunity. For most of the year, it was Daniel Espino. Then I gave Gavin Williams a try, and Williams has really struggled so far. So we're going to see what Carlos Vargas can do. For the other spot, I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do, but I decided to call up one of our top prospects, Zane Rowley, our number 1 draft pick from the 2022 draft. He's having a pretty good season down in AAA, only 19 years old, great contact, great plate skill, switch hitter. So I figured, why not just have him in the majors this next month and see what he can do? For now, Zane Rowley will be only hitting against right-handed pitchers, and he will sit against lefties. But if he plays well, that may change. If he also plays poorly, he may just be a bench bat for the rest of the season. But I am excited to see what we have with him. As for Carlos Vargas, he will slide into the rotation. And for now, Gavin Williams will become a long reliever. I may bring Daniel Espino back up and have Williams go down to AAA. I may also call up a guy like Taj Bradley or Michael McGreevy. Maybe see what one of those guys have as well. Also, side note, Camilo Doval now has A potential. Look at some of his rating boosts, +6, +10, +5, +6, and it is absolutely well warranted. I've said for a while that he's been the best reliever in baseball. If you look at his innings pitched compared to his ERA and his WHIP, he has a WAR above 2, which for a middle reliever is really impressive. So I figured I would play this next game coming up against the White Sox, and it was the third spot in the rotation scheduled start, which would have been Carlos Vargas, but he just pitched a game in AAA, so obviously we're not going to have him pitch today. We're going to do something a little bit different with the pitching, which I'll explain shortly. But here we go. Welcome to Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois, home of the first-place White Sox, taking on the second-place Cleveland Guardians. The deficit between these two teams is still a double-digit amount of games, currently sitting at 11. So Cleveland's chances of winning the division are pretty slim, and the wild card is really their best hope. Top prospect Zane Rowley is making his big league debut. He's hitting in the 9-hole today, starting out in center field. On the mound for the White Sox is the lefty Clayton Kershaw, who might be washed. He has won 16 games, but he has an ERA above 5 and a WHIP at around 1.5. Not great, but still one of the all-time great pitchers of our generation. Jesus Sanchez leads the game off. This ball goes a mile into the air, high and deep, and a right, and it is gone. A solo leadoff home run for Jesus Sanchez, his 28th of the year, and the Cleveland Guardians are very quickly on the board. Great swing there by Sanchez, who's had a phenomenal season with the Guardians, as Ryan Weathers is getting the start for Cleveland, his first of the year. Today is going to be a bullpen day. Weathers is the long reliever. He's going to pitch probably 2 or 3 innings, and then after that, the normal relievers are going to come into the game after that. 1-2-3 inning for Weathers. He strikes out the American League MVP frontrunner, Luis Robert, and that'll bring us to the second. Franmil Reyes goes down on the slider. A great pitch there by Kershaw, who's been looking good since the home run by Sanchez. Well, until now, Josh Bell with a moonshot in the left center field. A no-doubter, and the Guardians extend the lead as it's now 2-0. Bell with his 21st of the year, that one going .440. An absolute tactical nuke by Josh Bell, and a great start here to open up the game for Cleveland, who is looking to win this series. Currently, both teams have split the first 2 games as Dansby Swanson strikes out on the fastball. Another good pitch by Kershaw, his second K of the day. The rookie catcher, Eliezer Alfonso, would then single into center, and that'll bring up the new kid on the block, Zane Rowley, the 19-year-old outfielder from the Netherlands. 1-2 pitch for Rowley, a great contact hitter. We're hoping his average can be quite high, quite early on in his Cleveland career, but he pops it up into foul territory, and it's caught by the first baseman, Jose Abreu, to end the inning. Not a bad frame. Cleveland adds another. They lead 2-0. Bottom 2, here's Gavin Sheets going down on the slider. So far, so good for Ryan Weathers, who hasn't pitched all that well this season, but today he's looking quite good. The lefty killer, Ramon Romero, up early in the 3rd, and that might be the worst base hit I've ever seen. But hey, a base hit's a base hit at the end of the day. That ball traveled a grand total of about 6 feet and went directly at the ground, just like the Queen. That'll bring up Ketel Marte now. Full count, 1 away. He goes down looking on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Kershaw's arm might be cooked. Does not have the same juice and power that it once did, but a strikeout is a strikeout, I guess. That'll bring up Jose Ramirez, who has some great splits on the season against left-handed pitching. Singles it into center. Ramiro hesitates, then decides to go to third. Ballsy decision, but it pays off. Ramiro safe at third, and now Cleveland has runners on the corners. A big opportunity here for the Franimal. Franmil Reyes looking to extend the Guardian lead. 1-2 pitch. This one is popped high and not all that deep in a shallow right field. Caught to end the inning. So Kershaw does allow a couple of base runners, but he gets out of the jam without allowing any runs. Score remains 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Chicago looking for their first base runner of the game, and they're going to get it. Abreu gets that one to one hop off the wall. likely for extra bases. The throw from Sanchez is not in time. A no-out double for Jose Abreu, the former American League MVP in scoring position. We'll see if Chicago can score him as Omar Narvaez, the former Cleveland Guardian, strikes out on the fastball. Adam Engel joins him in Kaysville. Number 4 on the day for Weathers, who has honestly pitched really well in this game, forcing a flyout into center from Hampson, caught by Zane Rowley. 3 scoreless innings for Ryan Weathers. He only allowed 1 base runner. His day will be done. Keep in mind, it's a bullpen day, so the normal relievers are going to come in a little bit early. Miguel Castro checks in here in the bottom of the 4th. 3.6 ERA. He's been fine since being acquired back in June from the Philadelphia Phillies, forcing a flyout into right from Ruconde Diaboculis, and it's caught by Jesus Sanchez for the out. Let's travel into the 5th. Zane Rowley leads Vietnam off of a base hit. A single into right, splitting the first and second baseman. The first big league hit for the 19-year-old Dutch outfielder Zane Rowley. Certainly the first of many. Great contact hitter, great plate skills. He can hit to all fields, switch hitter. We're so excited about having him at the top of our order for many, many years. And his swing is just so beautiful and effortless, as shown on that play. Unfortunately for the White Sox, Jose Abreu strained his hamstring as he was diving for the ball. So he's going to be taken out for the rest of the game. Yoan Moncada will replace him at first. That'll bring up Jesus Sanchez, who homered earlier in the game. Little lefty-on-lefty crime. As this one's going to be a wild pitch, deflecting off of Narvaez's glove, and Rowley will advance to second. Rowley's got some wheels. He's pretty fast, and now he's in scoring position with nobody out. Following pitch on its way for Sanchez. This one is lined into right field, and that ball is gone. 2-run shot for Jesus Sanchez, number 29 for the season, his second of the game, and it's now 4-0. Off the bat, that did not look like a home run. It really didn't get that high off the ground, unlike his first home run, but he hit it so hard that it just kept going. I'm curious to see what the exit velo and the launch angle are, because, again, did not get very high, but he just hit an absolute rocket, and it went far enough to where it goes over the fence. Cleveland's offense is clearly not done. Here's Ramon Ramiro with a double. I don't call him the lefty killer for nothing. Ramiro's hitting .330 since being called up to the big leagues against left-handed pitching. And from there, Clayton Kershaw is going to be taken out of the game after not even 5 innings as he gets a big smack on the booty from his manager. Clayton Kershaw looks like a 10-year-old being walked over to timeout with the walk of shame after getting smacked by his pops. Matthew Thompson coming into the game for Chicago. If you watched my Baltimore Orioles franchise on MLB The Show 21, you may recognize him. He was on the Orioles for much of that series. He actually started in a game in which we pitched a no-hitter in the playoffs, ironically here in Chicago, against the White Sox. Ramon Ramiro will score from third off of a ground out by Jose Ramirez, and so that'll extend the Cleveland lead as it is now 5-0. Protective at bat for Jose Ramirez. Although he was out, he still drove in a run. Fredmil Reyes goes down on the fastball. Good job for Thompson to not allow any additional base runners as it is a 5-0 game. Very strong 5th inning there for Cleveland, headlined by Zane Rowley's first big league hit. There is Miguel Castro getting Gleyber Torres to strike out looking. Castro continuing to pitch well as he gets Moncada to also go down looking. 2 scoreless innings for Miguel Castro. His day will be done. Very good performance from him. The White Sox offense still with only 1 base runner all day. Into the 6th we go. Josh Bell leads the inning off with a walk. So he is aboard, and so that'll bring up Zane Rowley with 2 away. Rowley weakly hits this one to second, and it is caught by Garrett Hampson. Zane Rowley has great contact, but he doesn't have a ton of pop in his bat. He's only 19 years old. He'll get stronger. I'm not too worried about it. Dylan Tate comes into the game for Cleveland as he gets Adam Engel to go down looking on the sinker. Great pitch there from Tate, who's been very good since being acquired at the trade deadline from the Orioles. This one flown into left by Hampson, and it is going to be caught by Ketel Marte. 1-2-3, scoreless inning for Dylan Tate, and it remains 6-0 here with 3 innings to go. Can Cleveland finish off the job and win this series? Ramon Ramiro up with 1 away in the 7th. Full count pitch. Gets that one over the glove of the shortstop for a single into left field. Ramiro is 3 for 4 today. He is continuing to play really well these past couple of months. Doesn't look like he'll stay on base as Marte grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. Another scoreless inning for Matthew Thompson, who has pitched very well in relief of Clayton Kershaw. Nick Sandlin will enter the game here in the bottom half of the 7th for Cleveland. He's having a phenomenal season at the mound as he gets a 1-2-3 inning of his own, striking out Raconde Diaboculis. The Guardians have still only allowed one base runner today, the double back in the 3rd inning by Jose Abreu. And other than that, Cleveland's pitching today has literally been perfect. Top of the 8th, here's Franmil Reyes. He's got a 13-game hit streak going, looking to keep that alive, and he does. A single into right field, so he is now up to 14 games on his hit streak. He's only about 40 away from catching Joe DiMaggio. Certainly, he will break that, right? Yeah, press X to doubt. So Thompson will be taken out of the game. He'll be replaced by Ryan Burr, his 3rd appearance of the season. 3 innings, no earned runs. He's been really good so far as Dansby Swanson with 2 away pops this one into left. Not a great offensive day for Swanson as he is 0 for 4 as it is going to be caught there out and left. James Karinchak enters here in the bottom of the 8th. 3.97 ERA. We'll see if he can continue to pitch well as he started the year off slow, but he's been honestly really impressive since the All-Star break. Gavin Sheets goes down on the knuckle curve. That pitch way out of the zone, but he still goes for it anyway. Good pitch from Karinchak. That'll bring up Moncada, who swings at the high heat. Another 1-2-3 inning. Cleveland's bullpen, the best in baseball, certainly looking like it today. I think we should do these bullpen days more often. This has been really incredible. Top of the 9th, 1 away for Zane Rowley. He strikes out on the fastball. 1 for 4, a base hit. Not a bad debut for Zane Rowley. Good to see him swinging the bat here in the big leagues. Jesus Sanchez now will ground this one to 3rd. Great defensive play. Can they get the out? Not quite. Sanchez is safe at 1st. They're going to call that an error on Gleyber Torres. I think that should have been a base hit. That's not Torres' fault. He had to deflect the ball. He did a good job of doing so. Not really going to matter, though, as Ramon Ramiro will pop it up into foul territory, and it's caught by Sheets. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th now, see if Cleveland can finish it off. James Karinchak will remain in the game to start the inning as he strikes out Omar Narvaez for the 1st out. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Adam Engel, 2-2 pitch. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. From there, Karinchak's arm would kind of get a little bit tired. No reason to risk it, so we decided to bring in Camilo Duvall to get the final out. He was already loose in the bullpen, so figured might as well. It'll be Garrett Hampson up. He's going to pop this one down the line in pretty much foul territory, and it is caught by Josh Bell. Good win here for Cleveland as they beat the Chicago White Sox 5-0 here in the south side of Chicago. Cleveland takes home this 3-game set, 2-1. This might be the best pitched game I've ever seen from this team. The offense was fine. Jesus Sanchez, 2 for 5, 2 dingers, 3 RBIs. Ramiro got 3 base hits. Zane Rowley was productive in his debut, but the story here was the pitching. Ryan Weathers, 3 innings, only allowed 1 run, and from there, the bullpen did not allow a single base runner after that. Once Weathers dominated early, I knew we were going to win the game because our bullpen is shut down. I didn't know they would be perfect. And if not for that Jose Abreu double, we would have had a perfect game. That's how close we were to history. Chicago's offense just had nothing going for them at all. Clayton Kershaw really struggled, but their bullpen did a good job. I was impressed with Matthew Thompson, but it wasn't enough to stop the shutout. We're going to simulate our next 9 games, all within the division. 3 at home against Minnesota, 3 at home against the White Sox, 3 at Comerica. And we went 7-2, including a 16-0 win here against the Twins. Ramiro and Rowley at the top of the lineup, pretty cool to see. The offense completely dominated. Everybody had an RBI who started except for Campusano, and Shane Bieber had a complete game shutout. It's really nice seeing us go on a 7-2 run just because the team's been so inconsistent really since the start of May. So we made some ground in the division. We're only 7 back. I don't think we're going to win the division, but still good to make it competitive. And we are still the number 2 wild card. We should be able to clinch that wild card spot hopefully within the next few weeks if all goes well. It doesn't seem like we're ever going to figure out this number 5 starter situation. Carlos Vargas has only pitched 1 game. I don't want to overreact, but he hasn't been good. You know who has been good? Zane Rowley. He's hitting .407 so far, and albeit it's a small sample size, only 27 at-bats, but we're going to make him an everyday player for now. He's actually hit better against lefties in the minor leagues. So to see him dominating against righties is a very good sign, and for now he will replace Dansby Swanson in the lineup against left-handed pitching. So next episode, we're going to get through a large chunk of September. We have a huge series coming up against the Blue Jays, who are currently the #1 wild card. We're also going to be starting to talk about the minor league playoffs. Both the AA and the AAA teams will probably be in the postseason, so that should be pretty fun before we get to the Major League postseason, which we will hopefully be participating in. That'll wrap up the episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.